Full body fixers. What a great session today. I'm looking forward to connecting with you even further now in Q&A on questions and answers. And I'll tell you exactly how to participate. Many of you already know. You go to reactions and then you click raise hand. I'll explain in greater detail in just a moment. So a little more on what I shared with you at the end of today's session. We are quickly running out of these spots, but we have some semi-private consultations still available with me. Okay, so this is what we call it. It's all about you session, not part of the regular full body fix system. It's a specific and special session for those who are interested in becoming what we call a fitness doctor VIP. This is where you become one of our very important people that my fitness doctor team is guiding you through our system and helping you with all these things and optimizing your body, your functionality, your physical quality of life. If you're interested in learning about that, and that is something that you think you might like to get involved with yourself, that is really what the semi-private consultation is for. Also, of course, we have an actual consultation. I get to learn from you about your dream outcomes, your physical aspirations. I get to learn about your obstacles or hurdles that you have standing in the way. So I get to see, what it is that you want to achieve and what you have standing in the way. We'll have a consultation about that. If you are a perfect fit for our system, I'll let you know. If you're not, I'll give you other guidance or direction. And so we have amazing consultation. It is a very easy and short application process, just a few questions, super simple, and it's free. But just need to qualify and have actual significant interest in being a VIP. If that's you, I highly suggest you take advantage of that. And I do have a special gift for you in that session. So I highly suggest you click the link that's in the chat right now. So in the chat right now, you have the opportunity to schedule that semi-private consultation. And being that this is the last airing of the third session, we pretty much will be done with those semi-private consultations after today's session. So I highly suggest you take advantage of that if you think that fits you. Again, that's in the chat. Go to the chat, click the link, and the link says, Patricia would have dropped that in there for us. It says, today is your last chance for scheduling with Robbie, Full Body Fixers. Tomorrow is his last availability for the semi-private consultation. So you just click that Calendly link there. You get to pick times. There's a few different times available. And then we will have an awesome consultation if you schedule in and you qualify for that meeting with me. So much love to you. And now let's get into our Q&A. And how do you participate in Q&A? So you simply go to the bottom of your Zoom toolbar, and that's the place that has like a microphone. It looks like a camcorder. Then you can see like participants, and you scroll over to reactions. And when you click on reactions, that a box will open. And one of the things on that box says raise hand. So on the bottom of that box there, it says raise hand. If you click raise hand, your digital hand will raise, and I'll know that you have questions. So that's the way you participate. And then the order of which you raise your hand, I'll call on you. And with that being said, let's get started with Q&A. And let me lower my hand. All right. So our first awesome participant I get to connect with here is Jane. Welcome, Jane. Good to see you.
Hi there.
Hello.
I have lower back stenosis and 2 bulging discs. So doing the anterior with the hip tilting, I can't hardly do because it hurts. I'm wanting to know, can I actually improve that, or I'm just stuck there?
So when you go posterior, you probably feel it going posterior.
No, the anterior.
So when you're arching your back?
I can tuck my hips under fine. That feels good. But taking my pelvis and tilting it forward and arching my back hurts.
So that depends on, so like what my advice would be for you depends on where you're coming from. In other words, like what is your normal alignment? Like where are you normally? So we should look at that. If you're comfortable with it, and if you're not, it's okay. We can just kind of talk about it. But if you're comfortable with it, it would be great if I could have you stand up and kind of see you from the side. in the camera, I could actually tell you how your pelvis is aligned and then help you further with that. So let me see here, spotlight. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, so you have pretty good, without getting into a lot of motion and movement with you, let's go ahead and, yeah. Maybe just reach up towards your ceiling. Yeah. Yeah, so you have a little bit more of an anterior pelvic tilt to begin with. So, okay, you can relax. So you have more of an anterior pelvic tilt to begin with. So going into that excessive anterior pelvic tilt position is not, obviously, as you're feeling, such a good idea for you. So what you'd want to do is just control going into anterior pelvic tilt, because basically you're already in anterior pelvic tilt. So you're doing it like excessively to go anterior, because you're already 80+% of the way there. So, you know, if you get like 50, you don't have 50%, but you might be trying to do 50% and making it up with it by smashing those bone disc bone interfaces. So just like, yeah, you could probably go anterior if you do it a little bit and not have discomfort, but to do it a lot is not going to agree with you. And that's why like posterior feels great, because you got lots of range to go butt under, but you have very little range to go butt out and back arch. So, so for you, it's going to be like about where you feel relaxed, slightly forward from there, but then you got all that range coming back. So that's how you'd want to think about it. And then to shed light for others in this session, and guarantee you, are going to have the exact opposite. They're going to be more towards a butt tuck flat back position. And for them to do that even more, it's going to be a little bit painful. Also, we have those who
So you don't try to actually get, so you don't try to get 50-50, you just kind of stay where it's comfortable.
No, you do. You do want to go 50-50, but for you, your 50-50 is actually going to be more towards posterior. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So what ends up happening is like for you, you're, you know, without doing like a deeper analysis, you're in the range of like 80% already to end range anterior. So that's like the back arched, right? So you only have, of the available range, you only have like 20% going forward, but you're going to have like 80% going backwards. Does that make sense? So you're
more.
Yeah, so your middle is like 30% back from anterior, so it's slightly butt tucked. And so the best way to get there is to contract your pelvic floor. So you start to engage your pelvic floor kind of like a Kegel. You can contract your pelvic floor muscles, and that'll start to align and put your pelvis posterior. And that's actually like from the bottom up, it's actually stabilizing your pelvis. So that's the place that you want to start. And then we would start building with transverse abs and like the drawing in the abdomen and all these other things that come after that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. And then Patricia, you can just keep me on the screen. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So some of you are going to have more of a posterior pelvic tilt in like a flat back position. And even for some of you, it might not feel so comfortable going into anterior pelvic tilt. So even though you're more towards posterior. So for those of you who have that issue, my suggestion is to really focus on drawing your abdomen in and get good at what we call transverse abdominal contraction, which is like drawing the abdomen in and getting the sheath of tissue, which is like your own weight belt. You actually have kind of like your own weight belt in your midsection. What draws all your abdomen tissues together and enables you to stabilize better. So instead of trying to go so far towards the anterior, is just drawing in and trying to stabilize in a near neutral position. So some of these things do depend on like where you're coming from and then where you're trying to get to, right? So as we just learned with Jane. Awesome. And next up, I get to connect with Joan. Hello and welcome, Joan.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was having trouble unmuting. The biggest thing I noticed was that my balance when I was trying to do some of the stand on one leg and move the other is I need to hold on to or just touch something on the other side, which obviously must be that everything's not totally aligned in my body, but I'm having trouble sometimes trying to do that. And I don't know if that shows anything particular or not.
Yeah, so which exercise specific or which position or
Well,
exercise?
when you were first going to try to see how, where you stood on one leg and you put the other one back, and then you were rotating it around, I couldn't do that and stay upright without just at least reaching out to touch the side of my footboard on the bed
Okay,
because I was falling over.
yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
also have noticed, particularly from paying attention to this, there's sometimes when in the morning I'll be laying in my bed and I raise my leg up to hold it up, one leg up. And the one leg, when I raise it up and down for some movement, I will, if I don't turn my whole leg and my foot a little bit to the outside, you can hear my bone and I can feel my bone kind of at the hip level, kind of crunching together. And I know that I probably have some problems there. But also, I had fallen a long time ago and went like 5 feet down from a concrete thing onto a concrete thing. And I know my chiropractor at the time told me that I had tweaked my pelvis. And I don't know if I've ever quite gotten it back or not. I'm suspecting I did not, but I'm noticing that I'm having to actually look at what I'm trying to do is straighten my leg alignment a little more when I'm trying to just raise my foot up straight, because otherwise I could see my whole foot and my leg turning out. So am I best to turn that in, and might that be affecting some of this that we're doing?
So you definitely don't first of all, you definitely don't want to feel like crunching and like all that stuff in your hips. So you're
Right.
right to like modify movement, even if it's not necessarily considered like perfect alignment. You're better off doing that than having all that grinding and eventually probably create an inflammatory response. So I would start though at the pelvis level, like, what is my pelvis doing? Like, so taking today's session, and then when you lift your leg, is your pelvis staying neutral? Is it arching? Is it maybe tucking your butt under excessively? I would feel more for that and try to go from the pelvis middle section of the body first and see if you can adjust from there and maybe not have to turn your foot out as much because you're also controlling the alignment from the pelvis, which sets the hip, of course, right? So that would be like your next layer and level of looking at that. And then tying back to Monday's session on knees and hips, thinking about internal and external hip rotation, seeing like, do you have limitation in internal or external rotation? And if so, then doing those stretching exercises to target that. And when you start combining all of it and you're doing motion with neutral pelvis and then mobilizing where you have restricted hip rotation, now it's going to start improving function and strength and mobility all together.
Right. Well, this morning when I was doing the leg raise, I noticed that I was kind of defaulting to that turned out foot a little bit. And so I tried to just tweak it a little bit in where it was still comfortable to do the exercise with that, hoping that maybe I'm somewhat modifying things as I can keep doing that kind of thing without feeling any pain or having any rubbing or sounds or anything. Is that the better approach to use? I'm laying on the bed, so I'm not, and I will pay more attention after today to my pelvis, but
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah, that's the right approach. And let's just double up your thought process on the pelvis. That'll be like the biggest element that you add. And then in terms of standing on one leg and feeling unstable and then doing the rotation exercise that we did, that is normal. It's totally normal. Like for every exercise, there's a regression to the exercise. So standing on one leg balance without supporting, the regression would be like to use a support. And then eventually over time, getting stable enough to not need the support. Just, when you support doing single leg balance activity, you just want to make sure that you're not like let's say you're standing on the left side and you're like leaning over to hold the left. Well, you're putting the tissues all in a shortened position. So you're strength training the tissues in a misaligned position. So you just want to keep the pelvis level, left, right, and neutral, as you learned today, front, back. And then support as needed and hold that position and strength train the aligned position. Because the position we strength train the tissue in is the position the muscle gets stronger in, right? So you
Right.
want to be careful what positions you're training in so that the alignment and functionality goes into alignment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Absolutely. And Caro, please let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. We're going to bring you up on Zoom with me. Hello and welcome.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'd like to have a precision. When you explain the plank position, you said that you breathe in and then you suck your stomach in. I got confused because to make the stomach in, usually you breathe out. But when you put the stomach in and you breathe in, then it's the thoracic that puts the air in. Am I
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I breathe in, I make my stomach in, and then the thoracic spine is going to expand for the air to come in.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was a bit confused.
Yeah. Then you're having abdominal cavity and chest pressure within the body, which is helping to create some of the stabilization by breathing in and then drawing your abdomen in. Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So I
And-
got understood. Yeah. It's just the reverse of what I was thinking about.
And it's not easy, as those who have actually did that exercise today, it's not easy to breathe and draw the abdomen in. So
Yeah.
that's why you want to breathe in and then you breathe somewhat shallow on the top side of your breath. So normally we want to try to breathe really thorough during exercise 99% of the time, but it's one of the rare cases where you can kind of breathe a little more shallow when you're working the transverse abdominals and really drawing in. And then breathing kind of shallow on the top side of that breath.
So it's only for the exercise.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. No, that's not to be like transferred other places. It's just the way that
Yeah.
we're the torso and the transverse abs. Yeah.
Because
And-
usually when you breathe in, the stomach has to come out.
Right. Well, yeah. When you breathe in, what's really happening when you breathe in, your diaphragm drops down, right?
Yeah.
Which is bringing more cavity pressure into outward. And then when you exhale, your diaphragm is coming up, right? Because it's closing up that lung space. So when you breathe in and you're expanding that space and then you're contracting the muscles, it's giving the muscles something to contract against. And
Okay,
so all those relationships are creating like abdominal pressure to be able to support your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Really good question. Hello, Magda. Welcome to you. Hold on one second. Let me get you. There we go. You're unmuted. Hi. Hi.
When I was doing the exercise of bending forward, and I was trying to be all aligned, and I got a very big cramp in the right inner thigh. Hurt really bad, as well as the top of my glutes on the right-hand side.
From which exercise?
Just standing aligned and bending forward.
So, standing aligned and bending forward.
Yes.
You felt, tell me what you felt again.
I felt a cramping pain inside right thigh. And on
Okay.
top of the glutes on the right-hand side and the breast on the very top.
So one of my recommendations for you, you're probably not used to doing that, right?
I am
So
not used- I'm very, very stiff and I also notice when I stand up and don't pay attention, my left foot turns out.
Mm,
I mean, I pay attention now and try and stand straight, but if I don't pay attention, it turns out.
so for those of us that aren't used to really doing the alignment and the motion, then you really want to control the range of motion, right? In this case, a lot of things we can adjust is the range of motion. Sometimes we can adjust the load, like the load would be like I was talking about with Joan, where you can support to stabilize out. You're decreasing the load really by holding something, helping to support. So but you wouldn't want to change the alignment. So the alignment I'm teaching you would keep, but you want to listen to your body. So my rules, like for my VIPs also are this: listen to your body and your comfort level first before me. Next, listen to the perfect body mechanics and the alignment and really the proper muscle activation. Last, work the range of motion and the load. So listen to your body, listen to me, then work the range. So what you would do instead is, okay, I'm listening to my body. Okay, I'm listening to Robbie. Okay, I'm keeping alignment. Yeah, this feels a little stiff. I'm going to just stop there. I'm going to come up. I'm going to stay in my comfort zone. I'm not going to go further. And then this week you do, 10, 20 degrees range of motion. Next week you do 20, 25. Next week, 30, 30, right? Little by little in your comfort zone, not mine. In your comfort zone, you're going to increase. And over the weeks and months, eventually, yeah, Magda will be doing near 90 degrees with good alignment without muscle cramping. So it's good. It's better to start there. And then you kind of do that with all of your exercises instead of trying to match like Keith's range of motion, for example, right? Yeah.
Yes, I know
That's the best.
I'm weak. I had a stroke a year ago and my whole left side is weak.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
I've recovered completely. I can speak and walk.
awesome. You can what? Say it again.
I can speak and I can walk.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Yes. And you know what? You're doing the right things because you're taking action, you're getting back into your movement, you're exploring these things. So that's awesome. I would strongly encourage you to keep doing that. And I would strongly encourage you to stay in your comfort zone. So follow the body alignment and the mechanics, but just decrease your range of motion until you find the alignment and the comfortability and the connection really strong. And then little by little by little, increase that range of motion. You'll get the best result that way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Much love to you, Magna. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. That's awesome. And Faye, hello and welcome. Look like you're unmuted for a second there.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes. Yep, you're unmuted.
I don't know why my face can't be seen in the, I don't know how to get on the video.
Yeah, your video is on, but it's not showing anything. I can see from my controls here that your video is on, but it's not, it's black screen for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying these sessions. I'm learning a lot. Yeah, how can we tell that we are more interior or posterior with when we're standing with our pelvis?
So you would stand and do the pelvic rotation. So you would bring your pelvis towards the front position and then you'd relax. And then you bring to the front position. And I'm talking really slow on purpose, because that's what the energy of what you're doing will feel like. And then relax.
Okay.
And then go to the front position and relax. And then go to the back position and relax. And you do this really methodically. And what you end up doing and what you end up looking for after you do this, like honestly, about 8 times in each direction, you just start to really think like, okay, from your relaxed position, and I'm like closing my eyes because you're really feeling for this, right? How far from your relaxed position are you to the full anterior position? And
I
relax.
see.
And how far are you to the posterior position? And relax. So like we all genetically have some alignment too, right? So like I'm more towards anterior just genetically. So like I'm going to feel that I'm like I only have 30% of the way to go to end range anterior, and I have 70% to go with my butt tucked under. So like for me, I know anytime I do exercise, I'm going to be thinking about and focusing a little more glute, butt muscle activation, a little more pelvic floor, and trying to go slightly towards that posterior position. So you kind of feel and find your alignment. And then from there, when you exercise or load and do things with physical activity, then you're going to go and find your neutral. But you start by feeling, going front, relax, back, relax.
Okay.
Relax, back, relax. And then you end up learning like, okay, and you just basically make a guesstimate, okay, of like, how far are you towards one direction versus the other? And it'll kind of tell you what position you're in. And there are some individuals that are like, it feels 50-50 because they are close to 50-50. And that's near alignment. And one more thing you should know about that is it's natural to have a little bit of anterior tilt at neutral. That's actually the alignment is slight
Okay.
anterior, as very minimal anterior tilt from alignment. So that's what you'd want to kind of go through the thinking process and feeling with your body. And then that starts to get you much more accustomed to that. So then when you sit, when you lay down, when you do anything, when you squat or you lunge, you're walking upstairs, you always go back to feeling and thinking about where's your neutral. And then if you set the pelvis, it sets the rest of the spine, right? So that's the way you want to think about that.
Got it. So when you're lying down, yeah, I'm glad you talked about the best way to sleep. The best position to sleep is on your back.
Yes.
So when you're lying down straight, flat on your back, is it normal to have that little arch there?
Yeah. Well, yes, that is normal. But for those of us like Jane and myself that have a little more arch in the lower back, we kind of really want to feel for that when we're laying down, and oftentimes bring our pelvis a little more towards the posterior position, which makes the lower back muscles go longer. And it starts to create some
Oh.
mobility in the lower back. But you have
I
to
see.
feel but there's also individuals in this session, and guarantee right now, who have a flat back. Their back is like straight.
Yeah.
And the butt is almost like tucked under. So they would not want to be trying to like go flatter because it's already an issue. It's already
Go
a problem.
flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got it.
And sometimes so to give value to everybody, so those who have a really flat back and a little bit of butt tuck, then you're going, oftentimes, again, I said this a bit ago, but I'll say it again, oftentimes you just draw in the abdomen. You won't potentially sometimes feel so comfortable trying to go towards anterior. It might not agree with your lower back. If it does, you can go a little in that direction. But if it doesn't, then you just draw in the abdomen and practice feeling more stable and slightly anterior, and then more stable from drawing the abdomen in. And that'll
Yeah.
actually start to help realign the upper thoracic spine also.
Yeah. So really, you're saying that does that affect our neck and shoulders also when
Oh, yeah.
when we do that?
Yeah, big time. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the lower back affects the upper back, and the upper back, as you're going to learn on Friday, then all these major 4 joints of your upper body, it sets the clavicle and your scapular position and your shoulder and everything else. So those who have like flat back are oftentimes also a little more rounded forward on the upper body because they don't have as much.
Mm.
So
Ah,
it can
okay.
happen that way, but we also have those individuals that have a lot of lower back curve, and then they have a lot of upper back curve also.
Mm,
So
mhm.
humans come in all different shapes and sizes, so it's and angles. So it's important to kind of know, well, what should I head toward, and what, based on where I'm at now, where should I head toward? That's like the next layer of complexity of some of these things I'm sharing with you now.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. And just for everybody to know, like, that's in our VIP training system, that's a lot of what we get in, like, these are foundational mechanics. Okay, now let's apply it to you personally and see where we need to adapt or adjust to make sure you're getting the best results. Rivka, hello and welcome to you again. Good to see you.
Okay, hi. Yeah.
Hi.
in these last few years, probably the last 10 or 15 years, I've been shrinking. I think even a couple of inches. And in these last few years, I noticed that my belly is pouching forward. Now, there's an increased level of belly fat. I have a fold now above the belly that wasn't there before. And so the extended belly and the fold when I stand up meets the diaphragm and bulges out a bit. I don't know whether some of that might be from the exercise I'm doing or whether I'm compressing the spinal column and it's pushing everything forward. I think I also have some forward pelvic tilt with slight arch, which seems like it would do the opposite, but I don't know, could the pouching, because I don't see my food intake changing, could the pouching and even the extra layer come from, what would
yeah.
it be?
Oh, yeah,
Come
absolutely.
from the
Yeah.
way I'm compressing my spinal discs
Absolutely.
and bones.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, look at most bodybuilders, especially when they're not, most bodybuilders, when they're not in the show, really super lean condition, have an extended abdomen because of all the heavy strength training and shortening of the lower back muscles. So then their abdomen extends out a little bit more. Right. So like personally and openly, like I did personally, I did bodybuilding type of things when I was young and not as intelligent. I was always a scientist, but it was more about like big muscles and strength. So I did a lot of that type of training, and I spent the last 15 years undoing some of that training, because although it's cool when you're in your 20s, it does dysfunctional thing to your biomechanics. So like it's better to not do that. So long story short, there's a good example of like young, youthful, strong, athletic people that like, because of that, it affects actually their shape and stuff. So absolutely, regardless of age, fitness level, that type of thing, when the back shortens or it rounds more and the pelvis dumps forward, it'll absolutely create more protrusion of the lower abdomen, right? So that's definitely a thing that happens for many people. So like even just sleeping on the back can help significantly with that, because you can get your pelvis more flat and then it'll elongate those lower back muscles. That can help significantly. Yeah.
That would be the compens or the direction of alignment, is to
Yeah,
lengthen the back and the lumbar area
right.
to give.
Exactly.
I can feel that I can feel that the lifting gives more space and the compressing pushes. There's the only place it can go is forward.
Mhm.
One more question. Thank you for that. The one more question is, maybe this is what you'll cover only in the semi-private, but I've been curious about if we join the VIP, what kind of a time commitment is it? Is it every day expected to do a certain amount, and how much, or?
So we like VIPs to do their training sessions at least twice a week. And so that's really the time commitment. We have all different options for like how long. But we ask VIPs to do at least 6 months. So you've lived in a body a long time, so you don't want to, 2 week, 1 month, 3 month programs. Like I don't do that, because I want to make serious transformation in people's body and their life. So, and that although you can get results in the first week, month, you see changes, like pretty much everybody who follows through is going to see a lot of changes and things happen in the first week and month, but you want to compound those results and get much better results. So like 6 months plus is what we recommend. A year is a good starting point, and 2 times per week. So we recommend at least 2 times per week. And we have multiple options of how many times per week you can work with us, but we recommend at least 2 times per week.
And the 2 times are an hour each or hour and a half?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the rest is up to us, how much we practice in between. but you're giving 2 sessions a week.
Well, we actually do, the system's actually designed for you to do 4 per week, but what we say is to do at least two of those 4 per week.
With you or with your,
Correct. Yeah, and then just like the full body fix, we have multiple times per day. So we have 3 different times per day that you can choose for your live sessions. But then we also have all of your training in something called the Fitness Doctor app. So everything we do in our live is available at any time also as a VIP. And the system's always evolving, and there's a whole continuum of like starting and learning foundational body mechanics and then developing from a foundational level onto the next level. And then the Fitness Doctor team supports you, and you have a dedicated Fitness Doctor concierge who's an health expert, physical therapist that's watching and guiding you throughout the whole system. So yeah, we like all of those things and more are included in the VIP training system. Yeah.
so more intricate questions about that would be answered in your semi-private consultation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and then, like in the full body fix, I'm teaching a lot and we're doing some exercise. And as a VIP, I'm going to teach significantly over extended period of time, but I'm going to get you much more fit. So we're going to do a little bit more action, a little bit more activity, and you're going to get more fitness results along with all of the biomechanical optimization. So we always focus on biomechanical optimization. We always focus on a therapeutic, anti-aging, youthifying, if you will, effect from the exercise. Like that's the focus. So that never changes ever. We never go away from that, but we do more exercise in the session.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. And full body fixers that are here, Patricia's asking me to, and if anybody has anything you'd like to share in terms of your experience so far from the full body fix and any positive, what we call it, positive shares. We actually do this in our VIP training system. We have Q&As, and so there's questions and answers, positive shares, comments, and really create a community connection. So if anybody has anything positive that they'd like to share from today's session, anything or any of the sessions you've been going through, please feel free to share with us. And we'll close out today's session with that. Yes, Faye. Go ahead.
Am I unmuted?
You are unmuted. Yep.
Okay. Well, I can say it's true what you said about feeling better after the exercise sessions. I always feel better. I've been having pains in my lower back because I slacked off on some of my exercises. I had a very bad sacroiliac many years ago. And my orthopedic doctor gave me a lot of exercises to do to stretch the what do you call those muscles that pull down from the lower back, and it's those, you call it the hamstrings.
Yeah,
The
well,
ones
that's
that
under,
go
so that'd be under the pelvis.
under the pelvis. Yeah.
That would be the hamstrings. But if you're talking about
Yeah.
lower back, those are other sets of muscles.
Right. Oh, yeah. What he explained to me was the muscles when we get older, the muscles pull down on our lower back muscles. The muscles from the legs behind the knees pull it down. So he was giving me stretching exercises, and when I did that, I actually got better. 2 years of exercises, I got better. But then I slacked off over the years, and now your sessions are helping me to restore that again. So that's my good report. I'm in just 3 days, I'm feeling so much better already.
That is awesome. Wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing that with me, Faye. And looking forward to all of this system that we're providing to you, helping you even more.
Yes, I look forward to the semi-private session
Awesome.
with you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Much love to you, and thank you for sharing. And then Mary Anique, you're up next. Hello and welcome.
Times it seems in last year. And I found after the session, it was amazing because I had more balance. Like so I'm gonna have to do it every day, but my both of my feet were a lot more stable, it seemed. They always want to kind of turn, especially when I'm doing lunges and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden I felt a lot more stable. I had more balance. I could stand on one foot with no problem. So anyways, I just want to share.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mary Anique. Much happiness from us and my team to hear about your progress and what your experience just in a few days. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, looking forward to the system helping you even more. Much love to you.
Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Yep. It's my favorite thing to do. So yeah, this is I love to do the full body fix. It's one of my favorite things that we do in our entire operational system actually is the full body fix, is being able to share my life's work with everybody and really teach and benefit everyone. You know, regardless of money, that's why we do it for free and just provide a huge value to everybody. So
Also, one thing additional, I find that it's great because you go through the entire body, so I can really identify which areas are disaligned. So that's what I found anyways. Like I knew I had a major issues with my feet and my ankles. Knees and hips were fine. The lower back and the hips. One thing though I meant to ask is when I was laying on the ground on my back, just around like the breast area, but on the back, when I'm flat, it was hurting really, really bad. So then if I put the thicker pad, then it was fine. I'm not very fat, so I don't know. And also I'm not as in shape as I once was, so I got to get back. So that's why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, having the right padding and support and that type of thing is really important. You know, not everybody's going to be able to do every motion and alignment and position that I'm showing. Some are going to need to stabilize from a wall or a chair. Some are going to need more padding laying on the ground. Like all those things are really truthfully and very, very important to get the very best results. So yeah, that's good that you thought about that and that created even more benefit. That's awesome.
Anyways, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for saying thank you. And any other shares, connections, questions, or full body fixers? Almost called you guys VIP. Some of you are VIPs already, but full body fixers before we sign off from today's third session of the full body fix. So one thing I want to make sure that you do is that you attend session 4, which is on Friday. And one thing I want to make sure you do even more than that is attend session 5, which is on Saturday. You do not want to miss session 5. That is the funnest session for me. I absolutely love the 5th session. We get into even more action. I bring one of the fittest 80-year-olds in the world, and he shares with you his story and what he's gone through and type of things that he's done to improve his fitness and such. So it's absolutely amazing session and very much look forward to seeing you there. And if you haven't already and you feel like it's something that you're interested in and you want to apply for, I highly suggest you schedule for a semi-private consultation. It's all about you session. Patricia has posted that opportunity in the chat now. So you can go to the chat on the Zoom meeting on the bottom, click chat, and then you'll see that link there in the chat to be able to apply for a semi-private consultation. Much love to all of you. Wish you to make it a great evening, and I look forward to seeing you back for session 4 and then session 5 this coming Saturday. Okay, much love to you. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.